Hello and welcome to another interview with a professional psychic mechanics graduate. This is Megan, and Megan graduated in the middle of 2015, in summer of 2015. And so, first, Megan, just introduce yourself. Tell us all about your magic.
Hi, I'm Megan, and my magic has always been about transformation and personal transformation, spiritual transformation, and also physical transformation. That's just the essence of what like the story of my life has been, and thus my work. And so, right now, what that looks like is intuitive readings that all have to do with the things that we want to transform and change in our lives. And I've been working a lot with the law of attraction. And it's interesting because I didn't really anticipate that this is where I was going to go. Although now that I'm doing it, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That I'm going to be a law of attraction coach that's also intuitive. So
Yes, it's the best of both worlds because since you understand the law of attraction and the mechanics of attracting what we want, and you can see and understand energy, it gives a deeper knowledge of what's actually going on, not just what is your client experiencing right then, but also what's underneath the surface that it just may not be in awareness, it's subconscious. And so that's really beautiful, and I'm really excited for you. And I remember talking about that in training. Yay! So I'm just going to ask you a couple questions about the course. And so first one is, what was your favorite part of the Professional Psychic Mechanics course?
I have to pick one. I really loved it. Like, I would, every time I would see my best friend who I live with, every day of the whole journey from start to finish, I was just like, I'm so glad. Like, I kept saying that I'm so glad, and I still feel myself saying that I'm so glad that I made this happen and that I did it and that I completed it. Because of course I faced a lot of resistance, like most people do, because we're humans, but and even like right through the very end. But I'm so glad that I did it. I think my favorite part about it was I took myself out of a place of like self-denial. I think there was a part of me that still viewed what I was doing as possibly not real, or possibly invalid, or make-believe, or how could this ever go from being a hobby to being something that's more than a hobby and creates massive transformation in people's lives in a positive way. So it's been really huge, and the whole thing has been healing on like every level. So it's a journey like any other. Of course I learned tons, and beyond learning tons, it was a spiritual process, and it created all kinds of beautiful change in my life.
Yeah.
And so it was just really powerful.
And that's fantastic. And I had the great honor of watching you kind of grow into the fact that you weren't making this up. You may say a cattail, by the way. We have a visitor. This is Lucy, who is visiting us. Whoop! Hi, Lucy.
Aww, to see.
She's hard to see, but she's absolutely fantastic. She's my little friend. Anyway, back to this. One thing that I really appreciated was watching you transform, because of course you hit resistance. Most people do. Most people hit the block. I certainly did, especially in the very beginnings. It was like, oh, I have to do readings today. It was terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. And so, of course, that's why I designed the course the way it is, which is a lot of hand-holding, a lot of healthy checking in without it turning into, I'm not your mother, I don't, I'm not, that's not my role, but it was such an honor to get to watch you grow. And then the next question is all about, what was your resistance to coming in? Like, what was your hesitancy about the program? And what was it?
Well, my hesitancy was actually what ended up being my journey through releasing my money blocks, really. I grew up very poor, and so I inherited a poor mindset, and it ended up being a very empowering experience to say, I want this so bad. I'm just going to believe that if I sign up, if I make it happen, if I sign up, that the rest of the money is going to come to me somehow, some way, because I'm meant to do this. And I knew it, and I really felt it, and I believe that by knowing that and really feeling it, and really feeling that I could trust that the money was going to come my way, that's how the money came my way, because I did the payment plan.
Yes.
And did I have all that money up front right away? Absolutely not. But did it come my way every single time that it was time to pay? Yes, it did.
Yes, it did.
So that was like the beginning of me really realizing, the power of manifestation as far as abundance goes. And now I do all kinds of abundance readings for people. And I'm so glad that I went through that journey. So it was cool to release that resistance.
And it's so fantastic, because I found that for me too. In my training, I went on a payment plan to be able to pay for it. And it took a while for me to believe that I was worthy, of spending an amount on myself for professional development. It was like, oh, I'm not worth that. That was my personal thing. And it was, oh God, I'm not worth that. And so it can be hugely healing, if it's the right fit for you, to dive in and work through it, and that's something that almost a lot of times what you and I did, and a lot of other people did too. We work through it during the course. We don't shy away from those questions, because they're deep questions, and it's not unspiritual to work with money or to talk about money. And so we talk about it in a spiritual perspective, so that there can be deep healing, and we can all create a livelihood from doing something that helps heal the world. That's the whole point here. So that's fantastic. Oh, yay.
I'm so glad to hear you say that, because that's one thing that I unexpectedly really got out of this course. It was, the journey of like really honoring and believing like wholeheartedly for the first time ever in myself and, my abilities and my work. But then also you said something really powerful one time. And it was so simple. It was just like, the world needs us, so yay, the world needs us. And it like clicked for me. And then, I realized, holy crap, that's exactly why I really love doing this. Because you're absolutely right. The world does need us, and, it feels good because, I was a social worker before. And so clearly I care about, social justice and the well-being of others. And so I now get to carry that on, as a professional intuitive, because, we're here to save and heal the world. And I love thinking about that every day,
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay. So that really warms my heart, because I know that the people who are attracted to this work, and especially my courses, I'm very blessed, are people who deeply want to help others. And unfortunately, in our industry, there is a problem with scam artists. That happens in our industry. That's just an unfortunate part of it. And I know that I have the best caliber students out there. And so I'm really blessed and honored. So what would you love to say about someone who's on the fence? They feel like it might be right for them. They're not quite sure, and they're thinking about getting in. What words of wisdom do you have?
I definitely would say listen to that little voice and continue listening to that little voice. And eventually what happens is when you say yes to that little voice and you take the course, you learn to really trust that little voice, and that voice takes you amazing places in your life that you never thought in your entire life you would ever be. And it's just like the most beautiful blessing that just keeps, growing like, exponentially. So I say, as soon as you can, invest some faith in like, I can do this. I believe in myself, and, the resources will be there, because they will be. And that was my experience. I can't recommend it enough. So.
That's so beautiful. Thank you so much, Megan. That was perfect, perfect. And I'll make sure that I have the link to your website if you're curious to learn more about Megan. You can check out the link. It will be around here somewhere. And I don't know exactly where it's going to be around the video right this second, but it'll be around here. So go ahead and check it out. And if you have any questions about the Professional Psychic Mechanics Mentorship Program, go ahead and email me at ea@spiritualmechanic.com, and we'll see if it's the right fit. I don't do pressure. Megan, you can attest to this. I don't do pressure. I'm allergic to it. All sensitives are allergic to it, so it just doesn't work. So we'll see if it's the right fit. If it is, we'll get you in the program, and if not, that's cool too. So thank you again, Megan. I really appreciate you being here, and I can't wait to hear all of the exciting things that I know you're going to do.
Awesome. Thank you, Erin.
Thank you.